Well, here's a very nice design for a waterwise garden. One of the more interesting features of this design is a dry riverbed running through here with a little bridge which links the area under the tree, an opportunity for some seating back to a grassed area. If we move into model and I select the dry riverbed and the bridge, notice that it's a block called dry creek bed. If I escape from there, notice it's made up of some hardwood railway sleepers and some cuts in those sleepers, cutting them in small sections, half sections, and placing those under the bridge planks. Notice if I click on there and go edit the block, and we'll zoom in, notice there's some dimensions being applied, but if we now edit the block again, so it's a compound block, there is a block within a block. If I select the half sleeper that sits under it, the longer ones as a prop, notice that it has a new line type called dashed because it's hidden under the bridge plank, and we want to show it as a dashed line. So we have a line type dashed. You can change the line type scale. We could make it a little closer with the dash, make it 3 and unselect all. But notice that in any drawing like this, if it's underneath, the line is hidden, but we want to see it through the sleeper at the top. So if we choose this one, in GK Plus you can give it a transparency. Let's make it 150 and see what the result is. Even though the transparency of that rectangle there is set to 150, there is no result. We can't see the member that's underneath. So what I'm going to do is put a crossing window through there, and in the properties box you can see that there are 2 rectangles. Let's pick that first one and we'll get rid of it, and now we can select this one and we'll make it 150 transparency and unselect all. Now we can, and I can match properties. Of the top one to the bottom one. So that's a drafting error. I'll close from there, and now you can see the effect that we want. We can see we've now got proper hidden lines. We know that there's, if I pick this one and edit it again and zoom in again, that rectangle, edit again, this rectangle here runs completely underneath it. It's 600 wide by 1200. We've put some dimensions over here, and I can now close the block editor, return, and go back to the layout, and we get the result that we want. Hidden lines are now clearly visible. One other suggestion I would have is to make a floating viewport, a new floating viewport in this place here, in this space. Well, if I return to model space and pan across, so here's the little design of that block, that area for the bridge detail. If I now return to layout space, I'll do it from first principles. I'm going to add a viewport in this. In fact, we might put it down here in this area. It's actually a good idea just to move it off to the edge so that you can always grab hold of the floating viewport. And now I can just double click and set up my view. So I'm going to set up a view, and I'll come in as tight as I can, because the tighter I come in, the larger the text will be. Now right click and display it on the layout. Select the floating viewport, deactivate it, and now I can grab it. And I'll sort of mentally at the moment ignore the border, but I can pop it in there and unselect it, and that's going to look quite nice on the sheet. When I change the colour of this one to colour white and unselect all, now we have the little close-up of the bridge detail. So there are a couple of little tricks there that I hope you benefit from. Well, we've done a reasonable amount of work on this design, and I think because we can generate a PDF file quickly and easily in GCAD+, I'd be inclined to do a save as PDF, and I'll set maximum resolution. We'll pick a window, come just outside the border of the sheet and down to there, and we'll put it on our desktop, and we'll just overwrite GCAD+ drawing. One thing I have forgotten is to turn line weight on, so it should be quite a pale example here. And I think you can see there's no definition, although the resolution is good. So we'll do it again, but come down here, turn line weight on. We'll just check under line weight that the default is set at 0.25, which is a good versatile setting, and we'll OK it. So we'll save as PDF again, pop our border around it, and we don't have to be too fussy. This is just a trial to see what it's going to look like when we plot. And there we are, and I'm reasonably happy with that. The resolution is fine. If we zoom in, we're an Acrobat reader here, so we should be able to go Control+, and that will zoom us in. We're interested in that little bridge, and can we see the hidden lines? And yes, we can. I notice that there is some dimensioning still showing, and I do have, and we encourage everyone to put dimensioning on their own layer. So if we move that to a layer dim, we have to edit the block and then edit again. So this one here needs to be put on layer L dim, which I've just done, and we need to make sure layer L dim is now turned off. Now we can close the block editor, and we're in a position to do another print. So I hope that shows just fixing up some little small issues in the drawing.